Okay guys, welcome back to another map first look. Actually this is going to be a second look at Lone Star USA, I'll call it. The map author did a revision on this map. If you look at the American Eagles modding download site, this is listed as version 1, even though technically there is a previous version. I will call this the Mud Edition. In this map, the mod author makes comment that he made a few changes from the first version that I did a video on a few days ago. He moved and labeled the shop light switch for better visibility, added vehicle customization to the farm shops, several cosmetic changes, added mud, and then he notes if you were playing the previous version of the map, just change the file name to match the previous file name and you can continue on with your save game. There's no need to change out your save game. So let's jump in here and see what's changed and check out the mud. I've got a special treat in mind. See if we can tackle the mud and come out victorious. So let's take a look. So I'm going to deselect all mods and I'm going to pick these two. Going to pick our gator, and then I've got a special supercharged pickup truck that I'm going to try out on the mud. So let's pull up the log. There you can see at the top we still have that one Lua error, but it doesn't seem to affect gameplay, is what the map author tells us. So let's jump on in. So here we start as we did before on the front porch of our farmhouse. We have a nice American flag flying there in our front yard. We start at the animal farm as we've done before. Let's pull up the map. So again, I'm going to take this as if you haven't seen the previous video. So we do have all the standard food crops here on the map. We start with, on hard mode, nothing in the farm silos. On previous versions, on previous modes, like easy or normal, there probably is crops in there. All the prices look in line properly for the hard mode. We have quite a list of starting equipment. Even though the pickup truck has several days on it, it doesn't have very many hours, so the maintenance costs are not exorbitant. Going to take out some money here. We're going to need some money for our supercharged truck, and I like to buy some animals. So we start with 0 animals. We have all 3 animals on the map. We have nothing in the various feed and water troughs to start out with. And we have a storage capacity of 350,000 in our silos. This map has 2 silos, and I understand that you can put 350,000 liters in each. And in addition, we start out owning 3 fields. We own fields 1, 2, and 11. In total, there are 18 fields on the map. Most of them are somewhat irregularly shaped. If you are creative, you can probably use in-game AI, but you need to really make sure that you start your equipment in the proper directions to kind of make it as square as possible, if you understand what I'm saying. So for example, field 12, it probably would work best if you go east-west or west-east versus north-south on this map. Field 7, I would definitely not go east-west. I would go north-south, even though you make less turns going east-west. You've got this chunk out of it. So AI is going to do this type of a thing, and they're basically going to leave this whole chunk here undone. Whereas if you go like this way, they'll make a bunch of turns, but they'll be more apt to catch most of the field. I would start here and go this way because of this angle. The AI likes to go on angles where each turn is longer than the previous turn. If you go this direction, it might not like that because it's shorter. So that's just some things to think about. So let's take a look at our equipment. We start with a few Case IH tractors. The biggest tractor, 435 horsepower, a wheel loader and log forks. We have a cab over Tatra semi. We have a standard semi. It's kind of an American style big nosed semi. We have the big Case IH harvester. We have our corn and sunflower header, and then we have our grain header. Both are fairly large in size, 12 meters and 13.7 meters. We have a big tipper, semi tipper, fairly large cultivator, two fairly large seeders. We have fairly large equipment on the map to work with. Two pickup trucks. I commented before in my first video that we've got this interesting tree saw, and that would be interesting to use. I know personally I haven't used this tree saw. Typically I just use either a chainsaw or I just save up and get the Ponzi tree harvester. And then we have our timber runner log trailer. So we are going to buy ourselves a little gator. We're going to get the tractor tires, and then we are going to pick up one of these GTX modding pickup trucks. These things are pretty awesome, and I'm going to go with pink because real men like pink. Pink and black with our sport interior. And that is what we are going to use for some good old mud fun. Okay, so let's take a look at the map here around the farm. So we have our chickens. We have our pigs down here. Fairly standard pig yard, Farm 17 pig yard. I like the flag up there. I don't think that flag was up there last time I looked at the map. Okay, so here's our piggies running around, doing their piggy things. Leap, leap pig. So of course your straw goes here. You have your feed and water troughs over there. Okay. We have some storage here. This looks to be the same building that we've looked at before. This building has collisions on it. You see the red square is greater than the wall. So that kind of indicates that this has collisions on it, so you could tip your various pig food items in here if you wanted to have them close by. Of course, you do have a large pad here, so you could put a pig feed maker in there if you wanted to. Here we have a seed and fertilizer fill point, so you can fill your implements right here with seed and solid fertilizer. We have our silo here. Our big dryers and our propane tank to drive our grain dryers. This is where our silo out point is. So we have a basketball hoop in here. Here's where we have some of our starting equipment. Here is our repair bay to do our customization. We have storage shelves here for various things, maybe seed pallets, fertilizer pallets, other implements that you want to put here, maybe log and pallet forks. Oh, come on. This is all me. All right, there we go. So here we have our cattle area. This is where we would put our straw, I think, and I think we would, this is probably where we put our feed. Here's our animal buy point. We have our cattle gate here, so the cows will not get out. Nice little dock leading out. We have fishies swimming in the pond here. And if we look, they're way over there. We have some ducks swimming. So these are nice elements added to the map. So here we have a very large area for our cattle to walk around in. When we have, this map, we would easily have on this map a large cattle herd. Okay, we still have this gate here. I had seen this gate in the first walkthrough of the map, and I had commented I'd probably just leave that gate open so the cattle didn't magically walk through the gate. Here we have a water trough and a feed trough, so you can kind of feed. You don't have to use this trough. I typically will put grass in here, and I will use the other feeding area for my silage or TMR once I start making TMR. So here's some of the mud that's been added, and if we were in a tractor, we would probably sink down in that a little bit. I don't think I'm sinking in it at the moment. Of course, here we have our slurry and solid manure for our cattle. Here's some more of our equipment in this shelter area. And here we have our sheep pen, feeding trough, water trough, and our animal buy point is up here. So here we have our sheep. Pretty standard sheep area. We have one silage pit here for our cattle. And here we have another shed that we can tip into, so you could store your grass, straw, hay, and silage in here. If you empty this out and put some in there while you're starting up a new batch. So here's one of our starting fields. It looks like it's ready to harvest soybeans. And it's a fairly large field, as you can see there. Alright, let's take a look at our reset point. So we do have a reset point that is on the farm over here in this grass area. So we have our gator that we're going to be using to drive around in, and here is our tricked out supercharged pickup that we are going to play in the mud with. This is again a GTX modding product. This is the chrome custom interior with the digital dash. We have our blower for the supercharged mower, or supercharged engine. We have nice mirrors. We have a nice back window. We have a nice cover for our bed. So overall, this is a pretty slick mod, and the engine on it can really get up and go. I was playing with this earlier, and I think it's got a top speed of something like 114 mile an hour. And easily you can go a lot faster than these tires will hold. You can easily get this thing into a spin and really have a blast with it. So we're gonna set this up. Actually, I did not enable the follow me mod, so we're just gonna have to we might just drive around in this thing and leave the gator where it is. I was going to set this up to follow me and follow the gator around, so that we could kind of do a in-cab driving. That's the only problem with these pickup trucks, is there's so much of the view gets obscured by the roof that driving in first person really hinders your ability to see the map. So maybe we'll just drive around like this, zoomed out, so we can see. Here we've got a flock of ducks or geese flying. That's another customization to this map that you really don't see on too many maps. So let's start taking a look around. So here's field one. It appears to be planted in sunflowers, ready to harvest. This is another field that you own. So here we have another large body of water. A nice dock to go out into. You can imagine being out here and fishing. There you can see some more fish. You see plenty of ducks uh, swimming here on the water. Very nice element to the map. I was also wanting to enable the manual fast forward, because up here we have a nice campground. And I know in the first time I looked at this, I had the thought that it'd be really cool if these logs were on fire at night. So depending on how long the video is, we might jump back here and just see if those things are on fire or not, because it'd be pretty cool, I think. Alright, we're going to make our way around here to the spinnery and the sell points that are north a little bit. Oh, there's some mud. There we go through some mud. I think we got mud on our tires. We're losing all kinds of traction. Let's go easy on the gas. Oh, come on. Alright, so here we have a nice large grass area or not grass area, gravel area to put placeables down if you want to. So this map also has custom for sale signs. Let's go take a look at that. So here we have custom for sale sign. And this map also has missions on these fields. So this field is 4 hectares in size. Let's take a look at it. So this field is 4 hectares, so you can imagine how big some of these other fields are. Oh, we got them all muddied already, all dirtied up. So here we have a city sign, Lone Star, city population 207. Alright, so here we have our spinnery. This is where we will sell our wool. And here we have Bryant Grain. This is where we will have our grain sell point. Let's go over here to the Goldcrest Pacific Grain. So here we have Goldcrest Pacific Grain. We have traffic, as you can see. Kind of some busy town roads. We have a sell point here at the diner for our eggs. just some general shops here, nothing of much interest. That is the edge of the map. So we have some pedestrians walking here behind the shops. Okay, we have a nice residential area. Here we have, this is authorized vehicles only. This is one of our logging points. Some more mud. That mud really messed with my traction. I'm going to try to avoid that stuff for now. So up here we have our logging area. We have, oh, what the heck, let's have some fun. We have our crane, and this is a functional crane. So we can play what I call the crane game. Okay. Never was one much for the crane game. Of course, we have our wood chips. This is a fairly standard Farm Sim 17 sawmill. Wood chips, we have our lumber over here, and it looks like we have a log pond here that we can back our trailer down into and sell our logs. Thankfully, it doesn't look like we have any fishies in the log pond. We will go over here and check out that building now. That mud does a number on the traction, I'll tell you that. Alright, so here we have our cab over semi log trailer. Here we have a fuel point for our logging implements. And this is where we have some, oh, is that how that works? I guess you could also hook that on the front. Here we have our front loader with our log forks and one of our tractors with our tree saw. I've never used this before, so I want to see. This tractor does not have a front 3-point hitch, so I guess I won't see if here we got some ducks flying over. I guess I won't see if we can hook that up to the front. That's a funny looking thing. So we can store some of our logging equipment in here, should we so wish. We've got a fairly large forestry area there around the sawmill. That's what that big brown spot is. So we're just gonna, oh, we don't want to catch that on fire. So down here we have our second farm. This is kind of our arable farm where we don't have any animals. There's some very large fields that we can buy around this farm. So we have our silo endpoint. We have our silo out point. Wheat, barley, canola, all the standard crops that you would have in the silo. Here we have our second pickup truck up here at this farm. And we have another large area for equipment storage. This is our liquid fertilizer. It's our solid fertilizer over there, and Pioneer is our seeds. And again, we have gas here at this particular farm area as well. So we have another customization area here at this farm, and we have a big open barn. All of our equipment is down at the other farm, so there is plenty of room here to store plenty of farm equipment between these two farms. So I remember from last time when I looked at this map, we have a sell point that's over here. That appears to be a kind of a country road sign. I don't know if that's what CR represents as far as road signs in Texas, but it would kind of make sense. So here we have another large area that we can place custom placeable buildings, should we so wish. And here we have a sell point and some storage sheds. This is the black cow compost, manure, and slurry sell point. So I had mentioned in the other video that this particular sell point was not marked on the map. It still appears to be not marked on the map, but it's up here by field 13. And as a result of not being marked on the map, we can't select it to get that you know, that magical green beam to show us the way. Like there, I have the, you'll see the green beam pulsing way off in the distance for the Bryant grain sell point. So since it's not on the map, apparently you can't get it to highlight. So we're just going to do a little in-cab driving just for fun. We're going to shoot over to the animal buy point. See if I can find my way over there. to a fuel point. So 114. That'll get us up here quick. So here we have our animal buy point on the map. Okay, this is where you would buy your animals, and I had commented before that this was a pretty cool structure that is kind of interactive. Alright, there's a way in here. Here we go. So you can imagine sitting here watching the cows go by, watching the livestock go by, bidding on your animals of choice. Here we have our kind of our waiting pens, our stockyard, if you will, with animals in it. So that's a nice, it's a nice touch. Something you would typically see at a stockyard in America. So we have cows in there, we have pigs in there, we have calves in there. I'm sure there's sheep in there somewhere. We have over here we have a nice pond. We have a very nice, this is the Gold Crest Valley house that's overlooking the nice landscape here. The only thing that's missing is a nice, outdoor patio set that's overlooking the nice little pond here. We've got a little dock that we can go out here and kind of just sit in, watch the country. It would be cool at night if we had the bullfrogs and the cricket sounds. Be pretty slick. All right. So let's run down here to the south. And check out Maplefield Mill. Let's not tip over now. It's kind of a challenge driving this way. So we have another large pad here. That is our buy shop. Let's just go ahead and check that out. So here we have our shop with our customization area, shop icon, ATM. It's a nice Case IH dealer shop. Okay, these doors don't work, but you could even kind of store stuff in here if you wanted to. If walking through the walls doesn't Doesn't bother you too much. Nice sign here. Everything's nicely Texas branded. So then we have down here Lone Star Farm Supply. So this is where you, I think, can get liquid fertilizer. To fill your sprayers. There's definitely a trigger here. Last time I looked, it's still there. So I think you can get some liquid fertilizer out of there. So Lone Star Farm Supply gives you some storage. You can store some. I'm having a hard time with these doors here. So you can store some equipment in here. You have liquid, solid, and seed refill points, and then you have your hay, straw, grass sell point. Okay, and here's the last sell point. This is Maplefield Mill. Here we have another gas station. Plenty of places to fuel up. So let's take a look and see. Let's see how big some of these fields are. We're just going to jump to them just to save some time. So field 7 is 18 hectares, 1.5 million. Field 6 is 17.6 hectares, 1.4 million. And field 4 is 20.9 hectares at 1.6 million. So there are quite some sizable fields on this map. Lots of time spent harvesting. Lots of big fields to work with as far as big equipment goes. So I am going to jump back in here. And I happen to know that there is a fairly large mud hole that the locals seem to use as a way of gauging how good their trucks are at handling off-roading. We're going to see if we can't hunt that down and have a little fun before we close out this video. I know it's over here by the sawmill. Oops. So let's get up here closer to the sawmill, and then I'm going to have to check my notes for the exact area to look. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I've been told that I need to turn left at the second mud hole. Alright, so that's one mud hole, right? Alright, so let's see where our second mud hole is. That is the second mud hole, and I am supposed to turn left. And there's supposed to be a massive, fun mud area, and that looks like it is right there. Big, long, stretchy patch of mud. So we're gonna see if we can get through this thing, start to finish, without getting eaten by the mud. Whoa! Let's jump in cab for a little. We're still moving. That is some muddy mud terrain. We've got mud coming up in the cab for sure. Losing all sorts of traction. Let's check our frames. So I've got a GTX 960, and we are having some issues with some frames. We have definitely lost traction on this truck, but we're able to get through her, but we are making some mud action. I can see where smaller, lower graphics cards would have a serious problem with this, with all of the mud action going on there. So we are up to the bottom of the truck in mud. We are getting through it. All right, so oops. That concludes our second look. Now I have lost all traction. We're just going to spin out here. And hopefully I won't make you all sick. That concludes our second look at Lone Star Mud Edition, I will call it. Up on American Eagle Modding, it is listed as version 1. The non-mud edition does not have a version number. But again, the mud is not excessive, so if you don't like mud, you can easily avoid it. It's not going to, ruin your gameplay at all. But it is a fun diversion. So if you want to just play around, the mud edition is definitely something worth checking out. So I'll see you all guys in another video. See you later.